At this point, family, people have to admit that we are not alone in the universe, and it's obvious.
For me, I've always felt like we weren't alone because even if you look at it from like the whole religious aspect, if I was a creator of anything, right, and I created all these stars and things out there, planets, rocks, and all this stuff, would I play eeny, meeny, miny, mo and just pick one planet to put life on? I don't think so.
Obviously, it is a vast universe, and now we're talking about multi-dimensions. But when I say we're not alone, I'm talking about the plethora of evidence that has come out the last few years. Now, me personally, I have personal experience. I've seen videos that I would say are concrete evidence, but some people need more, right? Now you have these governments coming out releasing videos telling you that they're looking into certain things. You have NASA saying that they're going to research it now, even though technically this should have been NASA's job the whole time. I could tell that something is cooking up, something is brewing that they didn't want to come out, but for some reason it is coming out.
But there's so many situations where people are saying that something happened to them. I think I seen Lupe Fiasco talk about it. I seen Demi Lovato talk about it. I seen tons of people just talk about it in general. I mean, there's mountains of evidence. There's saying Area 51 talk. There's all types of stuff. So for me, it's just like I don't understand why people were fighting it so long. I mean, I think it's personally because people are afraid of the unknown. But at the end of the day, I don't see what the point is of being afraid of something that eventually you're probably gonna see anyways. You get what I'm saying?
Well, think about the consequences. The power structure of the world would change if you were to admit that there's something that's higher or something that's more advanced than the civilization you're living in. You would have to admit that you have almost everything wrong, especially scientists. I mean, there's so much pushback that I could tell something is up. It's to the point archaeologists are telling Netflix to take down videos. Archaeologists are saying take down YouTube videos. When you have scientists and specialists saying take down these videos, it means you want to cover something up. Isn't the point of science to study something?
See, my thing is you're right. The point of science is to study something. But the thing is, what I don't understand is, shouldn't scientists always want to learn more? Shouldn't they always want to have something pique their interest and learn more and exceed more? What's the point of being a scientist if you don't have that thirst for knowledge? The reason why it bothers me is because it seems like they don't want to learn certain things. You feel like they want to be the smartest thing out there. And to me, that would seem like a waste. If I was the smartest being in the world, why would I want that? I want to learn. I want to see more. I want, more interactions. If there were a higher being or some creature out there that knew more and could educate us on diseases and things of that nature, which is a possibility, especially with space travel and all that, why would I not want that?
I think at this point it has to be ego, or there has to be just a big financial benefit, especially when it comes to people who claim to debunk videos, right? Debunkers have been around forever, but the excuses that are being used just keep transforming because people got smarter. Notice that nobody says swamp gas anymore. At one point, you're saying that giant balls of light are coming out of the ocean, shooting around around the stars, coming back down to Earth, and people were saying, swamp gas. Now that they know people won't buy that anymore, now you're hearing things like Chinese drones. It's like this. So you're telling me that they've been this advanced since the 40s, 50s, and they've never invaded you for some reason? Now, it's just, you can't buy into that.
See, but for me, I feel like, I don't think anybody can say what's not out there. Let's be honest. We don't even know what's on our own planet. There's I think it's like 60 to 70% of the ocean that's undiscovered or unexplored.
Yeah.
How can we say that there is nothing in these vast stars that are ever expanding when we can't even say what's completely in our planet? To me, I feel like it's an inevitability, man. And like you said, with all this information coming out, they can't hide it. I mean, the next thing I know, we're gonna find a Loch Ness monster, Bigfoot, or whatever. Because at the end of the day, they've been saying forever that these things are not real. And these things are not true, and they've been trying to cover up and hide all these things for years.
Well, years ago, I used to talk about ancient civilizations that had disappeared, right? And I remember when I was a kid, it was something that people made fun of. People were like, oh, that's a myth, right? Mm-hmm. And now we have documentaries, we have books written about ancient civilizations as if we lost in ancient civilization. I'm not talking about like the ones that we don't know about. I'm talking about like a technically advanced civilization that was lost, right? And me coming from an island that already had that in our culture, it was not something that I found as a myth or something that I didn't believe in. It's just that when you come to America, you see that they weren't even open to the conversation of a technologically advanced group before them.
And that's the surprising thing, is that a lot of people aren't open to have the conversation. I mean, even if I didn't agree with, that there was something out there, which, that's not how I feel. But even if I didn't agree, I'll be open to have the conversation, because at the end of the day, if somebody brings me new information that I didn't have before, isn't that a good thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see the benefit of not being open to the conversation. I mean, like, obviously been rumors of Atlantis and all these other types of civilizations. Whether you can prove it or not, obviously, it would, Atlantis sunk into the sea supposedly, and you wouldn't be able to, explore that, because obviously we explore so much of the ocean.
Well, on the island of Bimini, there's the Atlantis Wall. You could dive into the ocean and go to the wall. And
I mean, there's so much things that need questioning, the pyramids, the Bermuda Triangle. There's so many things that we cannot explain. So how can we say that there's nothing out there in the stars? It just doesn't make no sense.
And it's crazy because so many people record new evidence every day. Local news stations talk about this subject almost every other day, but it never makes a national level news. And everyone tries to bury and suppress the information. I remember at one point you couldn't even talk about it on YouTube.
Yeah, that's true. And I remember there was that whole phenomenon in LA, where Chris Brown and all these guys are like, don't believe them. We see something in the sky, and they make you try to tell you that they're gonna try to cover it up, and they're not gonna say that this is not real, or this is some test that they're doing. And that's always been the same. This has always been the same thing. I've heard the satellites. I've heard, now it's the Tesla, Elon,
the Starlink. Everybody Starlink.
Everybody's saying it's Starlink.
Well, what was it before Starlink?
It's always something new, and it's always an excuse. It's always some kind of way to poo-poo this or shoot it off. And at the end of the day, it's staring you right in the face. There's something more powerful and more advanced than we are.
Now, obviously, the Pentagon released their report, right? And they say there's things they can't explain. And now, going into next year or whatever the deal may be, there's language in the National Defense Act that says you could be a whistleblower, saying that, hey, if you worked on alien spacecrafts, come snitch on people. And people still doubt that there's life out there? Yeah, that's crazy to me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Don't be a whistleblower, guys, because I feel like it's a setup. Don't fall for the trick, guys. Don't fall for the trick. I feel like they're gonna be like, oh, you said something, and then we're gonna find caskets and planes going down. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying, I definitely think there's something out there, and I think if you want to be realistic and you want to be logical, man, the universe is ever expanding. There's a lot of things that we can't explain, and that's a good thing, because there's we're not omnipotent at all. But there's a lot of things we can't explain, and eventually they're gonna come to light, and we're probably gonna see that there is a civilization or multiple civilizations that are way more advanced and intelligent than we are.
And from what I've seen and what I've experienced over the years, I know for a 100% fact that you are not alone in this universe. Now tell me how you feel about it in the comments section, and I'll see you on the next video.
Peace.